Horizon Zero Dawn. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words. On the back of the box. Earth is ours no more. 1,000 years from now, machines roam the land, and mankind is no longer the dominant species. A young hunter embarks on a journey to discover her destiny. Explore a beautiful, lush, open world. Face overwhelming odds with every step. Uncover ancient mysteries. Before I go on, I want to apologise. This is in 720p and might look a bit shitty. I have lost my Elgato somewhere since I moved house, and so I've just had to record this using the share function on the PS4. So I do apologise. Anyway, let's get on with the WAB. So what is Horizon Zero Dawn? Well, if you believe the hype from all the other reviewers, you would be forgiven for thinking that this is the best game ever made on the PlayStation 4. In fact, no, the best game ever made ever. Because the amount of praise and overhyped bullshit that I'm watching and reading is just scandalous. It's absolutely fucking scandalous. And if you buy this game on the back of them reviews and you realise what you've actually got, you know, if you've like got a bit of a mature head on your shoulders and you can get past the ooh ah, you know, and you can actually see what you've got, I don't blame you if you are so pissed off, because these reviews are just outright lies. Outright lies, guys. Do you know what? Someone suggested to me that I should review the reviews. First things first, the graphics are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This is probably the best looking console game I've ever played. The world is absolutely awesome. It's so nice, it's so realistic, it's so just amazing. I just love the graphics. The you're walking around and I'm just kind of, wow, that looks so good. This is pretty much up there with PC worlds. This is just like gorgeous. Absolute. In fact, it's a shame that such an amazingly good world is wasted on such an average game as this. It's a travesty. In fact, it should be a crime that a world as nice as this has been wasted on a game like this. And I'll come to the gameplay in a minute. The actual characters in the world, the humanoid characters, I think are a bit plasticky, and a lot of them look the same with or without a beard, you know. It's kind of like they use the same model. I mean, I don't think they did, but it's you know, I'm getting deja vu a lot when I'm interacting, especially with the traders, you know. So there was it's a bit of that, but I think where this game falls flat on its face is the actual story and setting. It's set 1,000 years into the future, and mankind has been kind of trodden into the ground by cyborg cows. All the animals have now got implanted cyborg. They're just cyborgs. The animals, the Terminators. The Frisian cows are Terminators. You know, you've got T-Rexes back, giant crocodiles or alligators, giant crabs. It's all kind of it's fucking ridiculous. It is, and I can get ridiculous. I mean, games are ridiculous. Some of the stories in games are ridiculously ridiculous, but what gets me with this game is that the enemy, the monsters, if you like, are so shit. They're so shit. You'll have a herd of these, I don't know, cows, you know, that look like cyborgs, and they have this blue light on the front of them, and they'll just be grazing around doing nothing. And there'll be another couple with them that are called watchers, and they're like the ones that are looking for people like you. And you have to sneak up on them and kill them, take them out first so they don't alert everybody else to your location. And so you kind of sneak around in this grass that, to be honest with you, only covers half of your body. It's a Sniper Elite 4 situation where you can clearly be seen by anything with eyes, but you can't. You're invisible. If you're in the red herbs, you're invisible. It's as simple as that. I've had enemy AI come right up to me and they can't fucking see me at all until I attack them. It's bullshit, guys. To make matters even worse, you've got this gizmo that you can use that actually shows you where the enemy's going to go to next. You can see their footprints on the ground, and it'll say, hey, in a second I'm going to go in that direction there, and I'm going to walk all the way over there, then I'm going to stop, then I'm going to turn left. And it's just, no more in games do you have to study the enemy patrol routes and work out when it's safe to stealth in between them. Now it just, I don't know, do you know what, the next game is going to just play you. You'll just it'll have an automatic button that'll play the game for you, and you can just sit there and go, wow, 10 out of 10. It's absolute totally wrecks immersion for me, that. Once they've seen you, the whole combat revolves around rolling around the floor like a complete prick, like you do in Witcher 3 and pretty much every other console game. You're just rolling left, rolling right, and the AI just charges at you. It'll do one of two things. It'll either charge at you in a straight line. Well, to be honest, it says, you're there, yeah. It'll stand there going for about, 10 seconds. Then it'll charge at you in a complete straight line or leap at you. Some fire at you as well, but you just roll out of the way, and then you have the task of turning round with your controller so sluggishly and then aiming at the animal. Now you have to aim at the right spot. You can't just shoot it anywhere. You'll do hardly any damage and you're wasting your arrows. There's areas on the monster, I'll call them monsters, that if you hit, you will do significant damage, and you can see this by using this little augment that you've got. It's like gives you special X-ray vision where you can see around everything and you can see things that aren't really there, but you can also see the vulnerable points on an enemy, and then you have to hit them. You can slow down time because controllers are so wank, you need to slow down time to aim properly, and even then I still can't aim because I'm shit with a controller, as you'll see by the footage in this video. But that's the combat. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Now the good news is there's a lot of weapons to choose from. Well, not a lot of different types of weapons, but you've got a lot of ammo and you've got traps, and I love the traps. What the traps are, it's like a rope trap. You will fire it at one point and then run to another point and fire it at another, and between the 2 points you will have a taut piece of rope, and anything that triggers that rope will be in for a nasty surprise. You can either stun them, and some traps just explode and blow the shit out of them, and I love that. Now the enemy AI knows that, well, a lot of the enemy AI knows that these are traps and will not run through them. Some will, some won't. Some actually stand there just looking at the trap going, I'm not running through there. You think I'm f***ing stupid, I'm going to run through that trap? No. And all this time you're firing arrows at its face and killing it while it's saying, I'm not coming through that trap, Absolute tripe. But the ones that do come through the trap, it is fun watching them explode. Now you can also convert enemy to you. You use a cattle prod up their arse and they will become your friend, and some of these friends you can ride. So you have to, as long as you sneak up on them, cattle prod them up the arse, they will love you forever. They love it up the arse, guys. And as I said, you can ride some and you get a mount, which looks really cool, and you can ride around the map. You can do mounted combat as well. Or like I say, they'll just fight for you and just kill everything in sight, which is equally good fun. So there is some fun to be had doing stuff like that. Where I think the combat totally fails is fighting the humanoids. Now the humanoids aren't the main adversary, so that's fine, but they've screwed up big time. You see, you have different weapons. You've got bow and arrows, you've got slingshots, but you've got different types of bow. You've got high-powered bow and low-powered bow. You've got different kinds of ammo. You've got flaming arrows, normal arrows, explosive stuff. You've got elemental arrows. And the thing is, each one has to be crafted, and the crafting cost goes up with the more damage that you can do, which is fine. I like that. And there's different types of weapons. There's rare, there's common, so you have different like specs on them. And that's great because that means some hit harder than others. Now when you're fighting a big beast, you expect to hit them with 10, 15 arrows before you take them down. But when you're fighting a human, you don't. You expect that if you would get shot in the face with a flaming arrow through the eye, you're going to die. Well, in this game you don't. I've actually sat and pumped over 5 arrows into some humans, and they will just act as if they've never even been hit. They don't stagger, stutter, they just carry on as if everything's fine with an arrow sticking out of their face on fire. It's absolute tripe. They haven't altered the hit points of the humans, I don't think. They act like the beasts, the smaller beasts, and they shouldn't. You get a headshot and they should go down, and they don't, and it's laughable, the AI. In fact, the whole way you have these fights, a lot of the time they're just standing there, you're standing here, and then you're just shooting and shooting and shooting. Then they'll just charge at you in a complete straight line, hitting trees, getting stuck on rocks, and then you get close and you just pull out your spear and just one-shot them with the melee attack. The combat is tripe. It's just garbage fighting humans and just rinse and repeat, rolling all over the floor, fighting the animals or the monsters. I don't normally mention the sounds in the game, but I want to with this because the voiceovers are garbage. The accents just don't seem to fit the look of the characters, and there's a lot of lip syncing issues as well. and badly animated faces. They're just it's bad.
My name's Kren. I thought I'd have a go at the trials of the hunting grounds over the rise, hone my skills. It didn't go very well.
Overall, guys, the game is a typical console game. I mean, what can I say? I'm running around and doing things that I'm not even doing. I mean, you're watching me climbing a cliff. I just pressed jump. I didn't even know where the ledges were. I'm just pressing jump all the time, and it just does it for me. I had no idea how to jump across ledges. I just happened to have my thumbstick pushed in a certain direction, and then all of a sudden I leapt off a ledge and grabbed on another ledge that I didn't even know was there. The game plays you. You don't play the game. Zero skill required in nearly every situation when you're playing this game, apart from some of the combat that I've already mentioned. But traversing the environment is so boring because you don't feel that you're doing anything. You'll jump on one of these aerial runways and then they'll turn around and grapple somewhere that you don't do it. It does it. Games today play you. You don't actually play the game. They play you. And it's full of padding as well, guys. The amount of cutscenes in this game is atrocious. They're everywhere. And when you're not doing a cutscene, you're interacting with somebody who will say, "Walk with me, child, while I tell you about the legacy of Brundandanda," and that takes another 15 fucking minutes. You can skip the cutscenes, which is a good thing, but you can't skip some of the mundane walking around listening to some old tart rabbit on about nothing. You've got to just do that, and it's all padding, guys, to fill out the kind of bland game that you've got here. I actually fell asleep playing this, and that's not a word of a lie. I actually fell asleep playing this game. That's how boring it is. I was tired, but still, I fell asleep playing this game. The crafting is very, very basic. You pick herbs and craft arrows, poisons, explosives. You loot the enemies that you drop down. It's just the same usual basic stuff. There's no inventory sorting, which is a bit of a shame, especially when you get a load of shite that you want to sell. You've just got to kind of sift through it all. But it's it's average crafting, really. There's nothing really to talk about in the crafting. It's just kind of basic. First aid you've got in abundance. You find these plants everywhere that give you extra health. You can also, on top of that, craft different types of healing potion. So dying in this game is very hard to do. Even for me, who can't use a controller to save their life, dying in this game is pretty much impossible if you're on the ball with your health potions and stuff. So it's not massively challenging. It's a big disappointment, this game. I wanted this to be a really good game to play. I don't have a PlayStation 4 game that I can go to and just enjoy because they are all the fucking same. This game is it's like a cross between Far Cry, Tomb Raider and Dark Souls, and don't think that's a good thing because it just isn't. The whole way that it's put together is very boring, very bland and very repetitive. Do not believe the hype, guys. Just don't believe, unless of course your idea of fun in a game is doing the same thing over and over again that isn't even that fun to start with. And that's the big problem that I have with console driven games. There's just simply not enough depth in the games. They are so two-dimensional, these games, and it's such a shame because this world is gorgeous. It looks great. It sounds good, the world, the sound effects are really nice. Just a shame that the gameplay is bloody mundane. What I will say, if you like this kind of thing, then buy it, because obviously there's a market for this. That's why it's getting 9s out of 10s, and that's why a lot of the people watching them reviews are saying that it's the best game they've ever played. So, don't listen to me if you like shallow games. If you're a typical console gamer with your shallow games, you're going to love this, because this kit is for that person immediately. If you like deeper, if you're kind of a Skyrimmer, and I think I read some of the devs wanted this to be somewhere between GTA 5 and Skyrim. It's not. I find that hilarious. It's just not. Them two games are light years better than this. But if you want a shallow, roll around the floor, shoot them in the face game, then grab it, because it'll probably keep you going for about 30 to 40 hours. If you want something a bit more substantial, then you're not going to find it here. Even the dungeons in this game are full of the same old monsters. It's a shame. It's a big shame. It's like they've spent all the time on the world and then just throw in some kind of gameplay for lols on top of it. And no doubt I'm going to get a lot of abuse for this, but I'm not going to lie to you. That's what this game is. That's what this game is. And if you buy it, you'll probably find that out.
Aloy, isn't it?
Are you?
Cabot.
What?